evening, friends. Welcome to Cocktail Hour. It is approximately 1,000 degrees here in my apartment, so we're going to be making margaritas. So my basic margarita recipe, which I received from my uncle, is essentially equal parts lime, tequila, and triple sec. Triple sec is an orange-based liqueur. So how do you make equal parts of these things when limes are non-standard in size? Basically, you take your measuring cup, which I have to tell you, some of the lines have come off of, and I had to recreate it myself. Be impressed. Friends, don't put your measuring cup in the dishwasher. But so basically, you measure the lime, and then you just put the same amount of everything else in. That is my technique. Usually, a single drink is like 1 to 2 limes in my experience. I have this very fancy lime squisher, which we'll be using to squish some lime. I mean, also, I have to be honest that the amount of lime that I'm going to put into this is enough to reach some line that I can read, so I understand its measurements, and it's definitely possible that it might be too much for one drink, in which case I may be forced to have 2 margaritas, which would be very sad, but I would nevertheless try to get over the disappointment. So here we are, second half of our friendly lime, using our special, this is actually, these fruit squishers, juicers, whatever you wish to call them, are color coded, and actually this one is yellow, so it's, I have to be honest with you, actually designated for lemons, but you'll notice that I have gone completely rogue and am actually using it to squeeze this lime instead. So it appears to me that this is an amount of lime that does not quite yet reach one of my measuring lines, and so we're gonna need a little more than that just for the purposes of science. So I have not sharpened my knife, so just like beware, and sorry Mom if you're watching this, don't worry about the danger knife. Everything is okay. I'm unharmed by cutting with the knife. Everyone can relax, including me, do not fear. All right, so we're gonna squish this puppy again, giving it some squishing, trying not to get it in our eyes, wearing our glasses during the pandemic, so that's actually a safety glasses that we're wearing. So yeah, I find that if you really wanna get as much juice out of the lime as possible, you actually, if you squish it in both directions, it gives you a little bit more juice than the single direction. And honestly, at this point, I have a whole other half of the lime and I don't really want to put it away into the fridge, so we're gonna just use that as well, just for thoroughness and completeness, and so as not to have a random half lime in my refrigerator that I will then forget to use and have go bad and have to throw away and then feel sad as though I'm wasting limes when I could perfectly well have had them to drink. So that's where we are with our friend the lime. So we're done with the lime moment, and then here we'll notice that it's basically to the first kind of legible line on here. So we're gonna make this in our shaker, so BRB and getting some ice. Honestly, technically you don't really need to shake a margarita, but that's just what I'll be pouring in so that I can use my measuring cup for the other things. So there we are, and then the measuring cup is once again free for our use. So we're gonna take our tequila, we use the same amount. I'm not like leaning down to check the meniscus science, friends. I'm sorry, this is an approximate, but you know, I could and I know about it, so hi Mom. But hi Elon, also a teacher of science, right? So then we're using our triple sec, again, basically the same amount. Now, plenty of people that we know use agave or simple syrup or other things of that nature. I feel that the triple sec is already quite sweet and that you don't really need to add anything else in order to make your margarita sweet. So that's basically all that is in here. I'm gonna take my fancy spoon, because I did spend over $1 to buy this fancy spoon, and so I do like to stir things with it on occasion, just so that I feel that it was worth spending the $1. So we're stirring, stir, 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 stir. Okay, then we take our glass, and here I have to be honest with you, this is the fancy part of the drink. Oh, the lime, by the way, that we had, we take and we place against the edge of our glass so that the edge of our glass is now dampened and also lime-like, and it runs down to the side, which is not as ideal and will be sticky later, but we can handle it. This is like a little thing of lime zest, salt, and sugar, which is a mixture that I have to say that I made in advance because I didn't think you would want to watch me zest a whole entire lime. And that I learned to make from someone that I worked with who can and will maybe remain nameless in case they wish to be confidential, but if they want to identify themselves in the comments, they're welcome to. So then we have the rim of this, like all fancy, and then what happened to my strainer top? Completely missing. Here it is. So we have our strainer top to pour this in. Why am I straining it? No one knows. Actually, it should have ice in it. So that's a pretty generous drink. And then we will just add some of the ice back in here. Oh, right, I did this was totally a plan because I wasn't sure how much ice I would have room for. And so I was waiting to make sure that there was room for all the ice. Yeah, it was like 100% a plan, although actually, oh my god, the drink is the exact size of the glass. Kind of like basically magic. So then we'll just take a sip of it, and so you have this full rim of this delicious experience, and so then you experience that every time you have your sip. Yes, you do. All right, enjoy. Very salty, sweet, and like all those flavors. And cool, and I may add a couple more ice cubes when I get off camera. All right, enjoy, friends. Good to see you. Thanks for joining, and have a good night.